Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the Shadow Den. ShadowFeng here. As you know, we're bulk recording this today and yesterday to get our videos in before the holiday weekend. There are some adjustments here. That's better. So, like I said, we're just doing some bulk recording. Today I'm going to do my top 10 water type Pokemon. Now, water types are some of my favorite types. I've always liked to use my water type Pokemon, and that's a Squirtle was the second starter I ever played with. Because originally when I first started Pokemon Blue, my very first starter was Bulbasaur, and you'll find that out later today. So let's jump right into this. Number 10 on my water list is Gyarados. Yeah, I know Gyarados is a very powerful water type Pokemon, and you're probably thinking, oh, you put him so low on the list. Well, and one thing, talk about an overrated Pokemon in my opinion. Gyarados is way overused, way overrated. His moveset's not very impressive, and for a supposedly Sea Dragon Pokemon, well, it looks like a Sea Dragon Pokemon anyway. I've always found Gyarados' attack power to be kind of lacking, which I said I think those reasons alone kind of put him down on this list. Originally, he wasn't even going to be on this list, but going through the water types, I didn't really have too many options for my top 10 favorite. But yeah, and even Gyarados' Mega Form doesn't really impress me because they take away the flying typing, turn him into a dark type, which makes him vulnerable to earthquakes and stuff like that because he loses his levitate, which I think was really stupid. I don't know why they did that. But yeah, for those reasons, I have Big Gyarados at number 10 on my list. Like I said, just overall, not as impressive as he looks. Number 9 is Samurott. Now, I tried to do my water, fire, and grass Pokemon without starters, but as I went through the Pokemon, I couldn't really do that. So I had to put starters on those three elements. No legendaries, though. But I have Samurott down at number 9. Actually, out of all the water starters, he's probably... I don't know if he's really my... Not your least favorite. His least favorite water starter is Empoleon. I think Empoleon sucks. I do like Samurott, though. I think the reason I put Samurott down on this list, the full evolution is badass, and he will decimate anything. But I think Oshawott and Deowott are just a pain. They are so hard to raise. It just seems to take forever. I'm not really sure who's worse, Oshawott or Cyndaquil, as far as getting them to fully evolve. They both just seem to take forever. I don't know, maybe it's just because the moves are so spread out or whatever, but those first two evolution forms just take so long to get to their final stage. And I think that's one reason I put Samurott so down on this list. But like I said, once again, once you do get him to evolve, and you get some better moves, you will decimate your opponent's team and really come through for you in a clutch. Number 8 for me is Seismitoad. I love this Pokemon. Of course, I like the water-ground combination. I think it's one of the best dual types that Pokemon has done. First time I used Seismitoad was the very first time I played Pokemon Black, and I fell in love with this Pokemon. Yeah, the first form was kind of dumb, you know, a little tadpole with a tail and a weird looking face, but you know, once it evolved, it got that ground typing in the second form, and of course in its final stage. And that's when we were first introduced to Muddy Water, I'm pretty sure. At least that's the first time I was introduced to it, and I love that move. So having just that water-ground combination makes you strong against electric types, which really helps, especially in Black and White, because there are a lot of electric Pokemon, it seems like, or at least a lot of trainers that use electric type Pokemon. So having that ground type being a lot of water type is very useful. And I like the moveset for this Pokemon. You know, can learn Surf, Hydro Pump, Muddy Water. I think you can learn Scold, Earthquake, Mud Bomb, Mud Shot, Rock Slide. Just an overall decent moveset for this Pokemon. Drain Punch, I think that's a staple. And I love using this Pokemon. Very, very well done. That's why I'm starting to kind of delve into competitive battling, and I kind of had this Pokemon on a competitive battling team. I don't think that was a good idea because I kept on getting its butt whooped. But overall, though, I do like Seismitoad, especially in regular gameplay. Very good water type Pokemon. Number 7. Now this one kind of surprised me a little bit, and I'm actually on the bandwagon for this Pokemon. I heard a lot of people talk about this Pokemon. Finally, I decided to breed down and have my wife breed me one. Milotic is my number 7 Pokemon. I am actually very impressed with Milotic. I think mainly because it's defensive. I think having a defensive wall water type is, I think it's somewhat unusual because I think most water type Pokemon are special attack strong. Milotic is, I think its worst actual status is just regular attack. But its speed, its defense, special attack are all very impressive. You can learn a pretty decent moveset. You know, and plus you give that thing 2 heal moves and leftovers along with that. It can be a very strong Pokemon. You do it all for your team. So very impressed with Milotic, even though it's a pretty Pokemon, but I'm very impressed with it. Like I said, its stats kind of blew me away. So if you haven't had a chance to get one, try and get one and raise it. I think you'll all be very happy with Milotic. Number 6, this is another one of my favorite Pokemon from Gen 3, Troodont. I love this Pokemon, actually. I like shellfish Pokemon in general. Cloyster was going to make this list, but I don't think Cloyster is quite top 10 for me. But I do have 2 shell Pokemon on this list. I love Troodont, especially that water dart typing. I think that's a very good idea. Troodont's moveset is impressive. Its stats are pretty well balanced. And plus, I kind of fell in love with this Pokemon via the anime because I loved Ash's Torfish. That thing just made me laugh. And ever since I saw that, I wanted to raise one, and I have on several occasions. I love Troodont. I think Troodont should be a lot more used. I think Troodont's kind of an underrated water type Pokemon. I really do think that people should give it more of a chance. I'm a trainer. You know, I like to battle. I like to raise different Pokemon. You know, I've raised tons of different Pokemon. I'm still working on raising some that I haven't worked with yet. But I like to experiment with different Pokemon, despite what their appearance is, to see how strong they are and how useful they are. And that's what I did with Troodont, and I love it. I love Troodont. Definitely a very good Pokemon. And here's where this list gets really good. Here's going to be my top 5. And this was very hard. Putting these top 5 in order from 1 to 5 was very difficult. It took me quite a while to actually get these guys in order, but here we go. Number 5 is Feraligatr. In my opinion, the best starter of the 2nd generation. I love Feraligatr. For its first form, Totodile is freaking adorable. I don't really like what they did with Troodont, but that's alright. I makes up for it when it fully evolves. I also like that it evolves early. You can get Feraligatr at level 30. I absolutely love that. Instead of waiting until level 32 or 34 or 36, you get your starter fully evolved at level 30. Level 30. By the time you get to the 3rd gym, you can have a beast of a Pokemon. And Feraligatr is a beast. It's got a pretty decent moveset. This thing can learn Superpower, I think, at level 60. Which is a very powerful fighting type move. And you combine that on a water Pokemon who's already special attack strong. That's very awesome to have a strong physical move, I think, to go along with that. Plus, it can learn Ice Fang, Surf, of course, Hydro Pump. I think you can learn Aqua Tail, Aqua Jet, all those. But a very good water type Pokemon. Plus, I love the overall design. I mean, it's a giant alligator for crying out loud. And this thing has, it just looks freaking awesome. It looks like it would just bite and destroy anything it came in contact with. So I absolutely love Feraligatr. Pretty much anytime I play that generation, that's usually who I start with. So, like I said, once again, if you haven't raised a Feraligatr, raise one. I definitely highly recommend that. Number 4, and I'm kind of surprised that this Pokemon isn't a little bit higher up on the list, but there are a few that come before him. So once again, this is my list, my opinion. So especially with this number 4, don't send me a ton of hate comments. As I said, this is my opinion. But number 4 is Blastoise, and you'll find out why he's number 4 here after I get going. But once again, Blastoise was the first water starter I ever played with, obviously. There's some nostalgia there. I like the overall form. I think this giant turtle with a huge shell with tannins coming out at the top of it's a freaking awesome design. I think one thing that kind of moves Blastoise down a little bit, his moveset it's good, but there are some moves that he learns that it's like, why are you teaching? I mean, he learns Rapid Spin. Okay? Rapid Spin, which before competitive battling was a thing, Rapid Spin was useless. You know what I'm saying? You're playing red or blue and your War Turtle, well, that's on rapid spin. 15 damage. 15 damage. Seriously? Alright, now rapid spin's a thing because it can get rid of hazards on the field for competitive battle. But back in the day, it was like, come on, I'm going to teach this Pokemon rapid spin. I do like that. I think after it evolves into Blastoise, it can learn Skull Bash, which back in the day was a very powerful physical move. I don't even know if Pokemon learn that move anymore. But that was very cool. You could teach it Mega Punch, of course, Ice Beam, all your basic water moves. The Blastoise was very fun to play with, and I really enjoyed raising one, especially in the earlier versions. I had a lot of fun watching my Squirtle evolve into a Blastoise. It was a cool thing. And then, of course, Ash's Squirtle in the show was pretty fun to watch. So, for those reasons, Blastoise is number 4. Alright. Number 3 is my favorite Eevee evolution. And once you get to watch this channel and get to know my wife and myself, you'll get to know who our favorites are. My favorite Eevee evolution, Vaporeon, is number 3. That alone, being as the favorite form of the Eevee evolution, is why he is at number 3. I also love Vaporeon's stats. I think the only thing that I think that Pokemon needs to improve on is its defenses. But it's got decent speed, decent special attack, its regular attack is good. And this thing is diverse. I mean, it can learn normal moves, it can learn water moves, ice moves. I think you can teach it some psychic moves. I think it can learn Dark Pulse now, Shadow Ball. And it's so diverse. I mean, its move pool is freaking nuts. But I love Vaporeon. Love Vaporeon. Absolutely. Definitely has a huge reason that Vaporeon is my number 3. I use him a lot, especially when I do an all-water team. Every time I do an all-water team, Vaporeon is always with me. I love Vaporeon. Very good. Like I said, for those of you who are just now getting into Pokemon, get an Eevee, give it a Water Stone, get yourself a Vaporeon. I'm pretty sure you will be satisfied with your results. Alright, now we're getting to my number 2. And these two Pokemon took me forever as to who I put at number 1, who I put at number 2, because I love both of these Pokemon. One of them I've been using for a long time, the other one not quite so long. I just recently started to be able to use this Pokemon, but I absolutely loved it. So I think because of the nostalgia factor, that's why I had to put number 1 at its spot. So coming in at number 2 is Swampert. Once again, that water ground type combination is freaking phenomenal. Swampert's stats freaking blew me away. Its movesets are very, very awesome. And I think the overall design, I mean, considering it's based off of some kind of a salamander, I think its overall design is actually pretty decent. The first form is cute, second form is kind of lame, and then you get Swampert. I think Swampert's overall design is freaking awesome. Especially with the Mega form. Woo, buddy. Talking about a freaking Pokemon on steroids. That Pokemon gets big buff arms and everything. I absolutely love its Mega form. But once again, Swampert with that water ground typing is just phenomenal and a blast to use. I absolutely love using Swampert. Once again, probably my favorite starter from the 3rd gen now. I think he barely beats out Blaziken. But I absolutely love getting a Mudkip and raising it, and it's just a lot of fun. Once again, awesome moveset, good stats, and it will decimate anything it comes in contact with. I've beaten full electric teams with this guy. Heck, I even beat a Mega Venusaur with it, I'm pretty sure. But a very good Pokemon to raise. I highly recommend it. Once again, go out, do yourself a Mudkip, and raise yourself a Swampert. Now my number one, this thing, its stats are kind of base. I mean, they're not the best stats in the world for a water-type Pokemon. The number 1 reason is mainly for nostalgia factors why this thing is number 1. My number 1 favorite water-type Pokemon is Kingler. I love Kingler. That Trap Hammer move is freaking phenomenal. You can teach a Guillotine, but I hardly ever do because Guillotine hits, 1 out of 5, if that. But you can teach a Hyper Beam, you can teach a Aurora Beam, Ice Beam, Scald, Brine, Stomp, Vice Grips, Harden. I mean, this Pokemon is very diverse. And like I said, its stats are not the best. I think it's actually its highest stat that I think is its defense. But I just like using Kingler. Like I said, I love shellfish Pokemon. And Kingler is, once again, just a lot of fun. And I love seeing little Krabby evolve into a Kingler level 28. I think that's just a cool transformation. But yeah, I think anyone that likes water type Pokemon, if you have not raised a Kingler, I would highly, highly, highly recommend it. Go out, do yourself a Krabby, raise the dang thing. And I hope that if you ever can, raise one. Hopefully you enjoy it as much as I do. That's it for my top 10 water types. I'll be back here after a little bit to do my top 10 grass type Pokemon. So, like I said, once again, this is my opinion. Leave a thumbs up or a thumbs down. We'll see you in a little bit. Bye bye.